Всем привет, это прохождение игры Sherlock Holmes против Джека Потрошителя. И в прошлой серии мы смотрели все эти зацепки, нашли их. Так, не сброс. Вот дедукция, мы все это узнали, все это посмотрели. Вот оно все. И сейчас нам надо играть за Холмс, за доктора Ватсона, потому что инспектор сказал, чтобы Холмс не вмешивался в дела полиции. И, конечно же, Холмс сказал, что дело будет расследовать Ватсон. Сейчас мы отправимся в участок, чтобы отнести записку с выводами Холмса. И узнаем про кожаного фартука, который подозревается в этом убийстве. И просто...
Then to begin my investigation into this leather apron, I must first head to the police station.
Который подозревается в этом убийстве. Он вроде как и не является самим Джеком Потрошителем. Так. Все это здесь вроде осмотрел, да? Игра вроде немного подтормаживает, когда сюда заходишь. Ну ладно.
Good evening, sir. What do you... I know you. You were here last week with Sherlock Holmes.
Письмо от Холмса.
Indeed. I have come to bring a message from Sherlock Holmes for Inspector Aberline. Very well, I will pass it on. But come to think of it, someone was asking about you recently. Finley, the caretaker of some shady boarding house nearby. Does that mean anything to you? Ah, perhaps.
Кожаный. Ну, кожаный фартук.
Actually, I read in the Star that you have arrested a suspect called Leather Apron. You shouldn't believe what you read in that rag, sir. The man is being hunted, but we have yet to get our hands on him, and we aren't close to it either. Why ever not? Bah, he's a specialist in the streetwalker racket. These girls make pitiful witnesses, and we don't inspire confidence. Furthermore, the man seems to be pretty discreet lately. Someone must be helping to hide him.
Как найти кожаный фартук?
How to get on his trail, then? One of these girls would have to confide in us and give a valid description of the man. Then we'd ask around the journeymen, who use aprons, I imagine.
Пока.
Well, goodbye. I must go to Finley's boarding house.
Да его искать не надо. Тут все еще закрыто.
Her Majesty Queen Victoria. What would she think of this mess?
Так, мы его вроде как можем сразу.
I must go to Finley's boarding house.
Ух ты. А, украсить дверь. Я ж помню, тут совершено убийство с выбитой дверью.
Good evening, Finley.
Oh, good evening, sir. Aren't you the gentleman who was with the great detective the other time?
That is indeed me, Dr. Watson.
Полиция.
Tell me, Finley, I was told that you were looking for us at the police station.
Indeed, I wanted to thank you for last time, you know. That vagrant has never set foot round mine again. I even found a tenant, one who pays his rent, I mean.
Жилец.
You don't seem very happy, but you were lucky to have found a good tenant so quickly.
It's just that this man is very strange. He paid several days in advance and I gave him a key to the place. Since then, he goes out every night and returns at ungodly hours. I'm sure he goes to visit the ladies, but still, every night. And when he moved in, something must have broken in his case and stank up the stairs in his room for 2 days. I think it was a jar. It must be over there.
Почему написано кожаный?
Tell me, have you heard talk of Leather Apron?
By the papers, that's all. This man seems very sinister.
Do you know any journeymen who use this type of apron?
The slaughterhouse butchers, I believe, but definitely the cobblers. I know one, old Isaac Solomonovich. His workshop is on a small street in the Jewish community, across from the hospital. He's a good man. He can help you. But you know, the people there are very close and don't share much with non-Jews.
Пока.
Thank you, Finley.
At your service, sir.
Так, давайте посмотрим, что это у нас тут за разбитый горшок.
This odor is very strong indeed, but the whole neighborhood as such has a dreadful stench. Finley might have an idea as to what this bottle contained.
What do you want, Doctor?
Странный запах.
You're right. The pieces of the jar that your tenant broke do give off a strange smell.
It's true. That's quite normal given his trade.
Yes, and what would the trade be of your strange tenant?
A doctor, like yourself, I believe. Dr. Tumblety, a foreigner. Canadian, perhaps.
Dr. Tumblety. It might be interesting to know more about him.
Пока.
Thank you, Finley.
At your...
Вроде бы как надо зайти к нему. Да, нет? Нет. Куда тогда идти? Здравствуйте, полисмен.
Tell me, is it...
You should return home, sir.
Понятно. Может, надо поговорить с Шерлоком? Дедукция. Тоже нет. Понятно. А куда я тогда иду? Куда-то сюда. Так. Здесь ничего нет. Так, а куда тогда идти? Я вообще не знаю. Надо с кем-то поговорить.
Tell me, is it...
Misery is a terrible thing.
Точно. Сапожник, клиника, домики, пансион.
I have no reason to go that way.
Так, надо бы еще про евреев спросить, где они там живут. Кто я забыл.
It's
Yes?
a
Dr.
Жилец.
You don't seem very...
It's just that... And when he moved in, something must have broken in his case and stank up the stairs in his room for 2 days. I think it was a jar. It must be over there.
Понятно. Я ничего не узнаю. Так, что вы можете рассказать?
I have nothing to ask.
Ничего.
Preston the authenticator. This town will warm us on my bets.
Так, куда же тогда идти? Может быть...
Tell me, is it...
Out of the way, I don't like the look of you.
А сам-то как выглядишь? Вообще, люди там. Ничего не расскажешь?
The night is...
О,
Does the name Tumblety mean anything to you?
Not at all. But if you like, I can make inquiries.
Fine, why not? One never knows. Well, goodbye.
понятно. Он тоже ничего не скажет. Он тоже ничего не скажет. Так, куда тогда идти?
You're in a rush, my pretty? Come, I'll have you done so quickly you'll only have time to pay.
Много косметики. Не, все-таки вот я думаю, что когда-то я давным-давно слышал про эту игру, смотрел в одной передаче. Вроде бы говорили, что она не очень, но мне нравится, в принципе. Хотя, может быть, это и не она.
Hot tater, sir. No worms, and that's my guarantee.
Кого ж тогда что-то спросить надо? Так, там я был. Ух ты, что это?
Commercial Street.
Commercial Street. Вы не подскажете ничего?
No, it would be
Нет.
better not to insist.
Это, наверное... ну что такое? С кем надо поговорить? Блин, как много здесь этих падших женщин.
What are you looking for? Chicks?
Нет.
Opium? Girl? Sailor?
Может быть, надо поговорить с тем, кто носит фартук?
Tell me,
Ничего
is it-
себе здоровяк. А, ну я же за Ватсона играю.
people with your looks round here. Understood?
Ватсон низким был. Весело у них тут.
I have nothing to ask.
нужен человек с фартуком. Куда я бегу? Так, а по карте я где нахожусь? А карта, и кажется, не указывает, да? Все валяются, все спят. Может быть, в клинике расскажут? Так, вот ты.
Good evening,
Ты же
Doctor.
доктор?
My name is Dr. Watson. Pleased to meet you.
Good evening. I am Dr. Gibbons. Likewise.
Что, все?
What can I do for you, my dear colleague?
Может, это баг? Ну ладно, раз нельзя с тобой поговорить. Ты спишь? Ты спишь. Тогда я уже просто не знаю, куда идти. Домики Люси. Клиника. Отчеты. А, так это... Это мы все знаем. Диалоги, диалоги, диалоги. Вот, так. На маленькой улице в еврейском обществе напротив госпиталя. Напротив госпиталя. Так вот же. Это вообще церковь.
I have no reason to go that way.
Значит, где-то здесь надо искать Исаака Соломоновича. Ух ты,
Can I
цветочки.
help you, my lord?
A cobbler
А,
shop.
вот оно.
Closed. I will return later. The policeman said the street girls would know something about the leather apron. Maybe I should go and see Lucy.
Теперь надо идти к Люси.
Oh, it's you. I'm coming. Dr. Watson, how are you?
Well, and yourself? And how's your uncle?
Well, he sleeps a lot, but he doesn't seem to be suffering. Your medicine has worked wonders. Thank you again.
It was the least I could do. I have come to see you about a certain leather apron. Have you heard of him?
Oh, yes, of course. Terrible things are said about that man.
Have you ever come across him?
Goodness gracious, no. But I know that he has threatened and taken many girls in my situation. I don't know what more I can say, but Bella will be able to tell you some.
Кто такая Белла?
Who is Bella?
Bella Pullman. She's the landlady of the place where I could take you there if you like.
Please do.
It's me. It's Lucy. This gentleman would like to speak to Bella. It's the doctor who helped me. I must leave to return to my uncle. Thanks again.
А тебя как раз таки этот кожаный фартук там не поймает? Здравствуйте. Сатик.
If you'd be patient, Madam Bella will arrive in a moment.
Good evening. I am Dr. Watson. It is young Lucy who told me to come see you.
Ah, so you're the Good Samaritan who saved her uncle without asking for anything in return. And now you've come to see me, no doubt, to explain that the poor little thing doesn't belong here, and you will see to her future. Well, if you expect me to let her leave with you...
It's not that, Ma'am. You should know I am a married man.
And why should that matter?
Да, это имеет значение. Мне нужна информация.
I believe there has been a misunderstanding. The reason that Lucy sent me here is that you may be able to give me some information about Leather Apron.
Are you a doctor or a constable?
I am most certainly a doctor, but I am acting in this matter in a private capacity, and I would like to find this man.
Well, if you're able to rid us of him, I'll give you a week's worth of free passes. That man is a thorn in our sides. He spies on the girls in the streets and watches them inside the houses, spying through the windows. And as soon as they're finished with a client, he jumps on them without any warning and forces them to give him their money. I've never seen him, but one of my girls was attacked by this man, and she said that he wore a leather apron and carried a knife. And his face, oh, he has a horrible head, with rat's eyes and a deformed mouth. She even said that she knew his name, Pizer, or Pizer, I think. But I don't know where she can be found. Margie, Nutcracker, the girl I'm talking about, could tell you more, but I had to let her go last week.
Так, где? Давайте
Would
сначала
you
там.
have received a visit from another doctor, a stranger by the name of Tumblety?
I'm just like you, Doctor. Sworn to secrecy in my profession. But as I've taken a fancy to you, I can tell you that this name is not unknown to me. And if you do me a little favour, it is possible I might remember something about him.
Так, какая услуга?
What kind of favour must I do for you?
You see that man over there? He's a rich artist, a painter, a regular client round here. Well, yesterday, he came and left his cane in the umbrella stand in the hall before going into one of the rooms. Well, when he returned to this room, the cane had disappeared. It's a cane with a massive silver knob. It must be worth a fortune. He threatened to call the police unless he got free services in my establishment for a year. I'll be forced to accept, unwillingly, of course, given the services that he's demanding, unless the cane is found.
Так, что
Did
произошло?
you question the residents regarding the theft?
They didn't see anything, and there's not one of them that would risk stealing from a client here.
Who was in the room when your weasel of a client was in the chambers?
There were a few that came and went, but Mary could tell you better than I can, because she was the one at the counter yesterday.
Где Марги?
Why did you let Margie go?
The poor girl caught a shameful sickness, and the symptoms have attacked her face, if you know what I mean. So I gave her notice, and a little bit to help her along. I don't know where she is now, but she'll certainly be getting treatment at the clinic if she's still in the neighbourhood.
Did you speak to the police?
What would they do? Who cares about the girls in the streets?
Пока.
Thank you, ma'am.
No problem, my angel.
Так, что это?
Best not to stray off in that direction.
Почему? Что там может быть? Чай?
Best not to stray off in that direction.
Нет, ну в таком платье мыть полы, мыть
What
ковер.
happened to this rug?
Oh, it's when we got a coal yesterday. I asked the young man to fill the pail. Came back to put it down, but his feet were covered in soot and he made a black print. Madam Bella said it was my fault and I got a shilling's penalty. I also have to clean the print and it's no picnic. He has immense feet, that boy.
I
Кража.
heard that there was a theft yesterday. Did you see anything?
No, and I was here the whole time.
Угольщик.
Who delivers the coal?
It's never the same person. I'd never seen that lad before.
Вешалка.
Do you always keep an eye on the coat stand?
Oh, yes. Well, when the coal delivery came, a client came out of the chambers and stopped me from seeing the boy who brought the bucket of coal. You don't think he would have taken advantage?
Ну, вдруг. Пока.
Until next time, miss.
With pleasure, sir.
Так,
A large black footprint.
значит, мужик большой.
Best not to stray off in that direction.
Так, я здесь много чего могу смотреть. Ну, давайте посмотрим все по порядку. Даже поговорим с ним.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, my dear man. I was led to believe that you're a doctor.
None of the residents of this establishment are among my patients, sir.
Oh, you're not here as a doctor, but as a man, then. I understand. This is my kind of place, too. It's in these houses in Whitechapel that you find the girls that are the most natural and definitely the most docile.
Your way of speaking about these women is not that of a gentleman, sir.
Ограбление.
I heard that you were the victim of a robbery here.
Oh, I'm not complaining. The loss of that walking stick will certainly bring me a very pleasant compensation.
Трость.
What does your cane look like?
The stick is ebony, about 35 inches long. The round knob is made from chiseled silver with a ring around the middle of the same workmanship. Just like the tip, for that matter. If you find it, don't tell a soul. Keep it for yourself. Got it?
Да фиг тебе.
Well, goodbye, sir.
Goodbye. Or until next time. And good evening.
Да, ты чуть противный чувак. Ну,
These paintings are suggestive, at the very least. These paintings are suggestive,
в общем,
at the very least.
ничего особенного. Так, у нас здесь вообще ничего больше нету. А картины нам ничего не скажут.
Best not to stray off in that direction.
Давайте еще раз сохранимся. Запись. Да. Сейчас у нас ночь. Нам надо найти здоровенного мужика с тростью. В принципе-то искать просто на улицах это, можно сказать, бесполезно, на мой взгляд.
I was in the Indies. There were less foreigners down there.
Так, большие ноги. И он доставляет уголь. Где он может быть тогда? Бордель, клиника, домики Люси.
Tell me, is it...
What are you looking for? Chicks, opium, girl,
Да, я ищу
sailor.
краденое. Я ищу
I have
краденое.
no reason
Так,
to
тебе
go
туда
that
не
way.
надо. Здесь у нас ничего вообще нету. У тебя трости тоже быть не может, да?
I don't get a pension
Да.
no more, and the landlord wants to toss me out. I don't get a pension no more, and the landlord wants to toss me out.
А где тогда искать трость? Сюда не войти. Люси там нету, да? Вроде бы нету. Так, мне надо найти домик. Попробуем еще раз.
I have nothing to ask. Commercial Street.
Commercial Street. Так где мне искать трость? Или у кого? Только большие ноги и все. Что это? Это бар. Ну или таверна. Ой, как тут темно. Так, ну что ж, давайте посмотрим. Так, это все мы знаем. Так, это то, что тоже мы все выводы. Это тоже не то. Так, и с кем тогда говорить? Просто бегать смысла нет. Ну, точно не он.
I have nothing to ask.
А как дождаться дня? Я хотел бы дождаться дня.
I have no reason to go that way.
Вы что-нибудь знаете?
What?
Thank you,
Нет.
Finn.
At your service, sir.
Может быть, в полиции? Вот он как раз сказал, что поспрашивает. Может быть, уже что-то узнал.
Some news, Doctor? Does the name Tumblety mean anything to you?
Not at all. But if you like, I can make inquiries.
Fine, why not? One never knows. Well, goodbye.
Понятно, ничего не узнать. Он носит уголь в бордель. Он большой.
Commercial Street.
Больше мне ничего не известно.
I have 8 children and 5 grandchildren, all beggars, thieves, trollops and tramps, and all because of my old lady.
Tell me, is it...
If you're looking for a princess lover, you've
Ничего себе,
found her.
принцесса. Боже, уйди от меня. Что это? Ты точно ничего не скажешь? Вон там я был. Да везде был. Может быть, надо вернуться в бордель и там еще раз что-нибудь осмотреть. Еще надо найти девушку, которая заболела ужасной болезнью. В клинике, кажется, да? Ты-то точно можешь
What
это
can I do
знать?
for you, my dear colleague?
I have come to see you about one of your patients. Margie goes by the nickname Nutcracker, who gets her prescription from the clinic. She's a lady of the night and is afflicted with a venereal disease.
I know who you're talking about. Indeed, Margie has syphilis and is being treated with mercury.
Do you have her address?
No. And for your information, she left London for good 3 days ago. She felt threatened.
Кто угрожает Марги?
Margie felt threatened. But by whom?
I believe that Margie was particularly scared of a terrifying man who attacked her once.
Did she say the name Pizer or Pyther?
Unfortunately, she didn't give a name, but she described a man with shifty, rat-like eyes and a mouth twisted in a sinister grimace.
Нападавший.
Did Margie have any idea where this man who terrified her so much might be found?
No, but she told me that another girl who'd been attacked like her had told her that this man worked in a cobbler's run by an old Israeli. Also, she saw him again last week, the night of the big fire. She told of going to see the fire like most everyone else in the area. While there, she recognised her attacker in the crowds gathered at the warehouses. There was no mistaking a face like that, she said. She kept an eye on the man the whole time the firemen were working in order to avoid him.
Пока.
Goodbye, Dr. Gibbons.
Until we meet again, my dear colleague.
И все-таки надо тащиться именно к сапожнику. Мы ничего не можем здесь посмотреть. Ага, угольчик.
These footprints are the same as those found on the rug at the brothel.
А куда ведут? Или они только здесь? Ты-то точно можешь это знать.
What can I do for you, my dear colleague?
Pardon me, Doctor, but who made the large black footprints there near the beds?
The brother of one of my patients. The poor thing had a leg amputated after colliding with a carriage. We arranged to find her a prosthesis.
Prostheses are very expensive. How did this man pay?
He told me that one of his uncles gave him a walking stick with a chiselled silver knob. I agreed to accept this knob in exchange for a simple prosthesis with harness. But this object is of great value, and I could finance half a dozen other prostheses by selling it on Petticoat Lane.
Так, то есть мне надо оторвать протез.
Doctor, I have reason to believe that the silver knob that you possess is from a cane that was stolen by the man who brought it to you. And I believe I know to whom it belongs.
That's what I was worried about. The story of the uncle seemed a little strange. Nevertheless, you must have proof of what you claim. I will show you all of the knobs that we have here. If you find the knob that the young man gave me, I will believe you.
Goodbye, Dr. Gibbons.
Сохранимся. Пожалуй. Запись. А где трость?
What can I...
Ремонт трости.
So be it, but something is bothering me. I will need a complete cane, not just a knob.
Don't worry, dear chap. Build one. I can loan you some tools. Make use of the odds and ends in my cupboard. It'll help get rid of it.
Well, I shall try. I will have to remember the description that Sickert gave. Goodbye, Dr. Gibbons.
Until we...
Понятно, надо использовать инструменты, которые у него в шкафу. О, эбонитовая 35 дюймов. Ты должен воссоздать трость Секрета в отведенной для этого области в правом углу экрана. Кликни на иконки инвентаря, чтобы найти диалог Секреты, в котором он описывает трость. После этого кликни на выбранный выбранном тобой предмете с левой стороны экрана, а затем кликни по правой стороне экрана. Этот предмет автоматически займет свое место. Чтобы убрать его, сделай то же самое в обратной последовательности. Для переделки трости секрета нужно 4 вещи. Во-первых, это эбонитовая, то есть 35 дюймов. Как мне поделить 35 дюймов-то? Чё ты? Нет, диалоги. Ватсон, Гиббонс, Финли. Ух ты. Так. А почему это зеленое? А это то, что выбрано? А, все-таки это он. Так. Эбонитовая палка около 35 дюймов в длину. Круглый шар, отделанный серебром с кольцом посередине той же работы. Если вы найдете, понятно. Ну, как я тут должен найти кольцо? Серебряный круглый шар. Эбонитовая палка 35 дюймов в длину. Эбонитовая. А вот так это... Так, там, видимо, ремонт начался. 35 дюймов в длину, это вроде бы 35-70 должно быть, разве нет? Я просто не знаю, там... Так, инвентарь, диалоги. Эбонитовая палка, круглый шар, посередине той же работы. С кольцом посередине той же работы. Круглое серебро. А внизу что? Давайте посмотрим еще раз. Ой, нет, не дедукция, не дедукция, извиняюсь. Инвентарь. Да, нет, ну. Что за... А, вот. Если вы найдете... Так, эбонитовая палка. Все, тут больше ничего нет, то есть я должен как-то угадать снизу, да? И должно быть тоже серебро. Нет, не угадал. А, если я угадаю, то все будет нормально, да? Давайте наугад тогда поделаем. А, круглое серебро. Ну вот. Той же работы. Это похоже на нее. Это вообще на какое-то красное дерево похоже. Это слишком длинное для 35 дюймов. Так, 1 дюйм это 2,5 сантиметра. 35. Так, 35 на 2,5. Примерно, ну, столько, наверное. Разве нет? Что это вообще не подходит? Я уже вообще не знаю, что тут делать. Кольцо. Я как бы не разбираюсь в таких делах. Так, в общем-то, я вроде как понял. Сейчас сброс. Вот эту ставим. Кажется, это. Вот это. И...
There,
вот.
all done. Holmes couldn't have done better himself.
Извините
What can
за
I
то,
do
что
for you, my dear colleague?
всякие там кто-то что-то пилит. Соседи на втором этаже всегда там что-то делают. Орут, дерутся, ноют, пилят.
I believe I found the knob from the stolen cane, which I succeeded in putting back together.
That's the one. And yet I cannot give it to you, Doctor. I will only return it to the police, and only if there is an official complaint against me.
Would there be a way to convince you to give me the cane?
Find me a dozen solid adjustable harnesses for wooden leg prostheses, and it's yours, Doctor.
Goodbye, Dr. Gibbons.
Until we meet again, my dear colleague.
Так что найти? Шоры? Дюжину? Чего? Боже.
This interview with the doctor revealed an important fact. Leather Apron could not be the Bucks Row murderer. According to Margie, the villain passed most of the night of the crime at the fire. He could not have been at the scene of the murder at the moment it was committed. He is nonetheless a dangerous character.
Так, а дюжину чего мне надо найти? Я так и не понял. Шоры. Что такое шоры вообще? Может быть...
Tell me,
Нет,
is it...
ты.
What are you looking for? Tricks? Opium? Girl? Sailor?
Я же не могу к Шерлоку пойти. Нет. Это печально. Может быть, у тебя что-нибудь есть?
What do you want?
Thank you,
Нет.
Finley.
At your service.
Гвозди. Ладно, на этом завершу серию. Ну, из-за соседей. Всем пока.